Hi. Would you be able to help me just move it to the side? That'd be great. Okay, thanks. No, just on the side. Just sit on. Yeah.
Just to get it out of the way.
I've got some symptoms, so I gotta stay over here.
Watch out! Watch it! Watch it! A little bit.
Aw, that's a big stick, isn't it?
That's a big step.
That's a big stick. That's great. Thank you. Say hi to the people in Belgium.
Hello, people in Belgium.
Hi, people in Belgium. How
Yeah.
you doing?
Okay, terrific.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day. Yeah, for sure. Is that where you're from?
No, I'm doing a performance that's being live streamed to Antwerp right now. Yeah, so I'm. It's about artist studios, and for me, the artist studio is the ravine in the past since the pandemic.
Okay.
So I thought I would show it to you.
That's awesome. That's really
Okay.
beautiful now, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye. Yeah. So this is where I've been coming since the pandemic, when it's at least warm enough. It's become sort of my studio, and it's the ravine just a few houses away from my house. I'll show you the stream. So it's very relaxing. There's 2 levels to it, and then there's a whole other side over there. And in October 2020, I did a project. I'll show you what area I used as my studio over 10 days, and it was really nice to return to that every day. And then later in the year, I did for Flow some workshops that I also used another area of the ravine, and went back to that every day, and then later did an evening performance from there. I don't really have my own space. It's I live in a pretty small house. I also work at a university, so at times I'm able to use that space, but mostly I create out of things that, surroundings that I'm in, or visiting the space if it's an interior space, to see what rises. And so for this city, it's worked okay. It's just very expensive to be able to have a whole other space that's dedicated only to physical work. So I've been doing outside for a while. So that's been really nice. And it makes me think about this is what I want to be thinking about today. As I sit in my studio, is how do we define what a studio is? What is it meant for? For me, I think of it as a place of contemplation, a place of experimentation, place of seeing what will rise, and allowing some incubation time, almost like a loaf of bread, and you're trying to let it rise for a while. And so the studio for me doesn't always have to be physical. It can be time. And you may have an idea, as we all know, at one point, and that germinates for a long time, and then eventually rises, perhaps months, perhaps years later, into another form. And so I've been using often the phrase, it's from Bruce Nauman, his videos where he's stomping in the studio, and it's actually called that. And to me, this, the studio is the place where you're allowed to stomp, and stomp either softly, loudly, without movement, with movement, but stomp away until until you find the moment. And so I'm going to do some stomping. And there's going to be people that are going to come every so often. I'm going to try to avoid them as much as I can, just because I've got COVID at the moment. And I'm going to take you now to the studio that I used for October of 2020 when I first started working down here at this spot. So we're going to go on a little walk. The area is called Mill Creek Ravine because this is the Mill Creek. There used to be an old mill here. And just as I come up this rising here, this is my spot. One of them, at least for that one project. And you can see other people come here, build little things, little lean-tos. In this case, sometimes there's a fire. And I'll show you there. You can sit around and have a fire, which is nice. But this is the tree that attracted me to spend several days doing a project here. As you see, it runs all the way from there straight across. It fell a long time ago. And for that project, it was called Leaves, Fallen, Broken Dreams. I was recording how many people in Canada had died from COVID. And so I would look it up just before I would leave to venture down here for the day. And I would collect that many leaves because it was fall and everything was orange and red and all different colors. And once it took me quite a while to collect just the perfect leaves. And once I had them, then I came back and I started at this end. I wrote on each one the date of their death, and I started putting them on here, nailing them to this tree. You can still see some nails that are there. And so eventually they covered the tree. And as the more fresh ones were being nailed up here, several days had gone past because I would do this each day. And the ones that were here would wrinkle and wither and get very brittle. Until eventually there was a record over 10 days of how many lives were lost in Canada. And it went to the end of the tree. There was a time that someone came and got upset and took half of them down. And rather than trying to put those back, I then continued on. But they seem to be very disturbed by it, or disturbed that children might see it. Yeah. So I like to come here and sit. Let's see if we can find all the nails. The tree has grown over some of them, like here, almost gone. So the markings of these people will eventually enter the center of the tree, and no one will know that they were there. It's usually not that loud here. We've had cold weather and a big storm yesterday, and now it's cleared up, so everybody's out to play. Termites have been busy.